Oh, here we go. It is worth mentioning that the computers uncovered in the finder's Washington, D.C. warehouse also showed communications between members in Europe, Japan, Africa, and South America. South America. And Africa. Post-World War II Nazi strongholds. Go figure. Cover up. 6 weeks after being arrested by Tallahassee police, Ammerman and Hallwell were released from custody. That March, the state of Florida dropped all charges against the pair. This decision, along with the sudden onslaught of newspaper articles and police memos downplaying the group's interest in the occult, made many certain that a cover-up was underway. One persistent investigator was Skip Clements, a resident of Stuart, Florida, and the man who made a major trade deal with China in the 90s to be the sole exporter of Florida oranges to the world's largest nation. According to Clements, the Customs Service dropped their case against the finders at the behest of the CIA. Clements has stated time and time again that the CIA was using the finders as a front to train special agents. Clements proved persistent, and in November of 1993, the Department of Justice sent out a memo requesting that the finders be reinvestigated to see if they had any ties to U.S. intelligence. U.S. Representative Charlie Rose, not that Charlie Rose, even met with Clements to discuss the case. Another politician, Representative Tom Lewis, used the finders case to draw attention to the fact that the Customs Service Child Pornography and Protection Unit had seen its arrest falling by a fourth between late 1980s and early 1990s. One of the original investigators in the case, Special Agent Ramon Martinez of the U.S. Customs Service, reemerged in 1993 to suggest that his case had been deliberately suppressed by the FBI and the CIA. Martinez echoed Clements in saying that he believed that the U.S. intelligence community was involved with the finders. Cases of retribution. When the finders case was re-examined in 1993, several former members of the cult came forward to talk about their horrifying experiences. Some claimed that the group used extortion and blackmail to stop members from leaving. There's some blackmail action right there. They have a pattern of blackmail. While others claimed that the group regularly used arson to keep members in line or seek retribution. These accusations were backed up by evidence from local police reports all across the country. Others made the shocking allegation that members of the group posed as babysitters across the country in order to kidnap children. Just when renewed attention was being focused on the finders, the group seemed to disband for good. The same group that the FBI considers dangerous and guilty of obtaining children for unspecified purposes seemed to melt away by 1996. Seemed to. Other crimes? Question mark. One of the crimes that has been occasionally attached to the finders is the 1982 disappearance of John David Ghosh, age 12, from his home in West Des Moines, Iowa. Following the disappearance of her son, Noreen Ghosh began conducting her own investigation. Before long, Ms. Ghosh came to the conclusion that her son had been snatched by a pedophile ring. When other self-proclaimed kidnapping victims came forward, Mrs. Ghosh was told that Johnny had been abducted by a particular group with connections to the CIA. Not long after Mrs. Ghosh went forward with this information, she received photographs of what appeared to be her son tied up and for sale in an underground pedophile brochure. Besides the finders, the case of Johnny Ghosh has also been linked to the Franklin child prostitution case, which during the late 1980s had many convinced that Nebraska foster care homes and daycares were run by pedophiles and Satanists. In 2018, the finders again made news when... Oh, this is unrelated. So there we go. There's a good summary of the finders. Okay. Why was her child targeted out of all children in the area? He was out playing alone. He was out delivering newspapers alone. He was alone. That's it. That's all it takes. And who knows? There could have been other reasons that they did this. And one of the other things, by the way, that the finders
Okay.
If you have a helicopter crash, you got a maintenance issue, right?
Yeah.
They will ground all aircraft. Everything ceases to function. Nothing moves.
So are they pulling everybody out of D.C.?
Nobody will be able to do anything. You can't move. You can't do anything. You get your guns and your bullets taken away, and everybody needs to have a little background check. So basically, they're going to do the equivalent of having everyone be rehired back into the military. If they've deemed you to be, of course, if you said Trump on your Twitter, you're a white nationalist.
I mean,
okay? You're an extremist.
Okay.
This is a military coup.
So and how are they going to do that? You know, years ago, if somebody would have told me that was going to happen, I would say that can't happen. But today I'll say, oh, yeah, they'll be able to do it because they're going to look at everybody's Facebook page and everybody's Twitter. And if you ever tweeted out or said anything about anything.
This is per Reuters. The stand downs will take place at some point in the next 60 days. So they will not be performing their duties. Okay.
Somebody just said this is how it started. Nailto? Is that who? I'm sorry. I can't hardly see that. But in the thread said, this is how it started in Germany. Do you know how many times I've seen people put that out there? And it's so true. This is exactly what they did. They demonized the military and they revamped it and they got rid of anybody who was, who they thought would be like, who would push back or who would not comply. They got rid of them. And they did the same thing with the police, and they federalized the police. And then they started on the people because they knew they had a plan to exterminate everybody, and they had to have all those killers in there, right? They had to have all those people in there who would be willing to do it. And they got rid of all the good people and kept all the psychos, kept all the killers. That's what's happening here.
Here's another one, another link that was sent.
Wow.
Here's Kevin McCarthy's full statement on Representative Taylor Greene. So Kevin McCarthy, establishment Rhino Republican, puts out a statement against somebody who is closer to we the people, and that is Marjorie Taylor Greene.
You know
House
what?
Republican leader, what?
They voted her in. It's none of his damn business.
She won by like 50%.
75.
Yeah.
The same as Nancy Pelosi.
Past
I don't
comments,
see anybody saying we got to get rid of her.
Listen to this. Past comments from and endorsed by Marjorie Taylor Greene on school shootings, political violence, and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories do not represent the values or beliefs of the House Republican Conference. I condemn those comments unequivocally. I condemn them in the past. I continue to condemn them today. This House condemned QAnon last Congress and continues to do so today. Wow. I made this clear to Marjorie when we met. I also made clear that as a member of Congress, we have a responsibility to hold ourselves to a higher standard than you scumbag Q people.
Millions of Americans.
Than how she represented herself as a private citizen. Her past comments now have much greater meaning. Marjorie recognized this in our conversation. I hold her to her word as well as her actions going forward. I understand that Marjorie's comments have caused deep wounds. All right, here's what we need to do. You ready? I'm going
Let's
full...
compile some of the shit that,
I'm
that
going
Nancy
full
Pelosi
bore...
has said.
Okay, I'm going full bore freaking Q. Okay?
What about Ilhan Omar,
I'm
who
going
said the Jews need to be
freaking Q.
Oh my gosh!
What?
And Rashida Tlaib. What about them?
Are we going to get shut down if I say Q?
I mean, seriously, this is insanity.
This is freaking crazy. And you know what?
Oh.
And see, this is the thing. This is why I snapped this morning. If you missed this morning show,
Yeah.
You know, somebody was in there like attacking me because I wasn't going fast enough for their freaking dopamine addiction. And I mean, seriously, we get attacked by the leftists, but I think it's even worse when we get attacked and eaten by our own. Okay, this McCarthy thing is, you know, and these fake we need to replace all of them. And their number one qualification should be: have you been reading the Q boards? Okay, do you think that human trafficking and sex trafficking exists? And put all those people in office and replace this guy right here. Look at what somebody said that retweeted. Blue checkmark Lauren Witzke said, "Enjoy your last term, loser." Right? So sick and tired of groveling politicians who feel the need to disavow and explain themselves to the left. Just accept that they're always going to hate us and defend your allies. He's eating his own children.
He
okay?
is. Yeah.
He's literally
He's
eating his own.
cannibalizing her.
Yeah. This is what we're about. We need to get rid of McCarthy. How do we get rid of McCarthy? How do we replace Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz?
Replace him with what? A commie?
No.
One of the third wave
No, we're going to
people?
replace them with Cumies.
With what?
Cumies.
Cumies.
Yeah. Huh?
Wow.
You're a commie. I'm a Cumie.
They're going to make sure that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not effective.
I want
They're doing to her exactly what they did to President Trump. Exactly the same thing.
I support Cumianism.
Cumanism. That's pretty funny, Pete. That's pretty funny.
Right?
Yeah.
I do. I'm not a big, I say a Q wingnut. I mean, I don't I think it's hilarious when they say pizza until he believes in the Q conspiracy. What does that mean? I go to a freaking website and I read. What is that?
I mean,
Q
you know the information that we
theory.
gathered from those websites?
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you any of the things that
Yeah.
that the actual Q thing dropped.
We're not going to be defensive. You know what we're going to say? You sound like an idiot, McCarthy. You sound like a dum-dum. Okay? What is he so afraid of?
Well, in this respect, McCarthy is not right.
He's not right.
He is.
McCarthy is not right.
No, seriously, they're doing exactly to her what they did to Trump, and he fought it for 4 years, and now he's going to jump on that bandwagon. I mean, it's none of his freaking business. People voted for her. Somebody said it in the thread. Sorry, I forget what your name is, but they said he represents his district.